Hey, Deepa, how you been?
I'm good, Enga. Good morning to you.
Yeah, I know it's late for you, right? It's like we're on. What time is it for you?
It's 7:36 to be precise for me here in Netherlands. So it's still shining. It's still summer for us in Netherlands. So yeah, making
Okay.
most of it.
Yeah, that's well. At least it's still daylight, right? So it gives you a little bit more of a wakes you up a little bit more, right? Keeps you awake.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, what would you like to share about your journey with autism? Because I know you
Yeah.
have
So
a few clients.
Yeah, sure, Inga. So, like we were chatting, that a lot of my clients they have been diagnosed with ADHD, so I do coach them. And then I have a lot of moms whose kids have been diagnosed with autism. And, like I always tell my clients that you should be so proud of yourself for doing the inner work because, when you have a kid who's diagnosed with autism, then maybe at times, you feel burnt out at the end of the day. You don't know how to fill up your cup, or you
Mhm,
feel frustrated, you feel angry, and it makes it all the more difficult if you yourself is the perfectionist.
mhm.
So I do have a lot of moms whose kids have been diagnosed with autism. Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say like is the hardest, like one of your hardest, patients or not patients, but clients that you worked with? I mean, what would you say was probably the hardest and that you actually were able to help out?
So hardest, I'm not sure if it's the right word which I use for my clients, but I
Challenging,
would.
rather.
Yeah, so I would say that there are different kind of moms, right? There will be ones who are not at all intentional to fill up their cup because their physical, emotional, and mental energy gets too much consumed into the parenting goal that they don't prioritize themselves. And I always tell them that you cannot really pour from an empty cup.
Yeah.
So, you will only come from a place of compassion and happiness when you're intentional about filling up your cup.
Mhm.
And then I also have clients, Singa, where, they are perfectionists or recovering perfectionists, I would say now.
Mhm.
And, when you are a perfectionist, then you are really hard on yourself.
That's true.
And maybe when you become a mom, you are a mom, and so am I, Inga, that you will go out of your way to do anything for your kids.
Mhm.
But then, you set the bar so high for your own self. Like, I was coaching a client last week, and she was like, I spent really good summer with my kid, Deepa, but I did not really focus on my career that much.
Mhm.
And I really pinpointed to her and I said, what do you really mean by but? Because but means that you are not even giving yourself that grace, you're not even celebrating that how much you enjoyed your time with your kid in summer. And at the same point of time, you're telling yourself, but see, I did not do anything for my career. I could have done so much.
Yeah.
And then the thirdly, I would say that I also have clients also comes a lot from a fixer mindset. Have you ever heard this term fixer mindset earlier, Inga? What does it mean?
No, actually, I don't think I have.
So, fixer mindset is something that when you see anyone in a problem, then your first intuition is to go and help that person overcome a problem. And so much so that their problem becomes our problem, and we start to take their problem on our shoulders. And as moms, and I am guilty of it as well, that at times when I see my girls struggling with something, the first thing I want to do is that I really want to go and fix their issues.
Mhm.
So again, if you have a kid who's diagnosed with autism, a lot of times you can also come from a place of fixer mindset there, Inga.
That's interesting. Didn't think of it that way. Yeah, that is true. So,
Yeah.
what would you say is your proudest moment with one of your clients?
Yeah, the proudest moment I would say is that I always celebrate small wins with my client, and I do coaching in a very different way. So I'm also a core energy coaching. I've coached over 6,000 plus hours now. I've been doing it for years, 5, 6 years. I've been coaching my clients now. So I follow this modality called core energy coaching, which is adopted by IPEC, an institute based in US and New Jersey, where I'm certified from. And core energy coaching is all about that how our thoughts convert into our feelings, and on the basis of our feelings, we take actions. So basically, it's a pretty long answer to your simple question. So is it okay if I take that amount of
No,
time?
that's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So energy attracts energy. It's not any coaching jargon. It has been established by science. So in 24 hours, we all travel through seven different levels of energy. So this client of mine was really stuck with lower level of energy, level one, level two, feeling powerless, feeling stuck, feeling victim. Why me? Why my kid is diagnosed with autism? Getting frustrated, getting angry. There is no work-life balance. I don't have time for myself. I have to give in so much. Look at my friends, look at my family. My partner is not helping and supporting me. And the fact is, the more you come from this level one, level two energy, more you attract from the universe and more you spread around yourself. So, we'll not have time to go through all seven levels. It will take me an hour, so I'll not do that. But if anyone is interested in your tribe, in your group, feel free to connect with me, and I'll be more than happy to offer you a free session on your energetic profile. So basically, how I helped this client of mine, I helped her to shift her energy from level one, level two to level three, level four, and now she has been working with me for last 1 year, and now she operates at level six. So level six is a very high anabolic constructive energy. Level six is the energy where you accept yourself for who you are, you accept others for who they are, you trust the universe, you trust the process. You're not stuck in your past playing a victim, why me? You're not feeling overwhelmed thinking about the future, that what will happen tomorrow. You're really in the present, in the moment, showing up authentically as who you are. And as a result of which you feel happy, satisfied, and fulfilled. And when you see your clients shifting their level of energy, you can see how their life is transforming. And so much so that I help my clients. I think I grow in my own personal developmental journey with every client of mine, Inga. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I mean, as you're proud of them, and also they're proud of yourself. You're also proud of yourself because you're like, oh no, I actually did this. I helped this person in so many ways, and it is very rewarding. to do
Absolutely.
that. Yeah. Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience also, and tell them what you?
Yeah, it's like I think I did most of the introduction. So, I'm a certified coach. I've done more than 6,000 plus hours of coaching. I'm a certified coach from IPEC. Originally, I'm from India. I've been out of India for last 15 years. My biggest blessings in my life are my two beautiful daughters. I love every single moment I spend with them. I have worked in Africa, in Nigeria, then I have worked in Oman and Middle East for 7 years, and now I'm based in Netherlands in Europe for last 5 years. So yeah.
That's amazing. A lot of work.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you mind if I ask how old are your daughters?
So my older one is 12 and a half, and my younger one is going to turn 11 next month. And I think they are in that age where they still need me, and and they're not like really babies anymore. Their maturity level is very high, and like I always touch wood to my friends and family, I say I totally lucked out on my kids. I think they are such beautiful individuals, and I think since the time I have become mom, Inga, I have grown so much with them. And I had very complicated pregnancies both the times. My older daughter was in NICU for a week, so my pregnancy journey was not good, I would say. But now when I look at them, and I'm like, I get a smile on my face when I see them every single day. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, no, it is amazing how they grow up, and you're just like, wow, because it's so hard when they're little, because it's like it's different, like you don't know what they're going to turn into, like when they're little. You're just like, oh great, this is like so hard and this is so complicated, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, once they start maturing, you're like, wow, this is actually getting better. It's
And
very challenging.
again, I totally understandable where you're coming from. That when kids are younger, it's hard a journey for the parents. But now, when I look back, I wish that I had a coach when my kids were that young, Ginga, because totally, I was not prioritizing myself, Inga. I was pouring out from an empty cup. I was trying to make everything perfect in my life. I myself, I'm a recovering perfectionist. So, it was really hard for me on those front. And like, every coach needs a coach. So I do have a mentor coach for myself. I see her once in a month and I always tell her that I wish, I met you years back when I was pregnant with my daughters or when my kids were really little and I was struggling and, with all these mindset blocks.
Mhm.
It could have made my life so much easier to even enjoy that phase.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, that's how like I feel like too. Like of course, we don't think of ourselves when we're younger. When we have our kids, we're think of them only, and so that's why we don't think about ourselves. And it is very important for us to actually think of ourselves. But we're too concentrating on our kids at the time. So I think that's the reason why. But I mean, I know that if we did have someone telling us like, oh, well, prioritize yourself, it's important. And I think we probably would all do that, but it's just like, it's the point of us asking for that help and that support too. So I think that's another thing too. I mean, because my son was actually in the NICU too, and he was
Mm,
in the NICU for 11 days because he had a breathing problem. He had a little bubble in his
mm,
and so he couldn't breathe right. So
mm.
where you're coming from with, you saying your daughter was in the NICU also for a week, so it's hard. It's
Yeah,
definitely like a new experience.
absolutely. And thank you so much for being so open and vulnerable here, Inga. Really appreciate it. But of course, I can imagine that it must have been very hard for you at that point of time. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, he was actually a little bubble boy if I think when I think about it, because he was actually in pure oxygen and trying to get him to breathe better. So yeah, I may I ask, what was your son or not your son, your daughter? Why was she in the NICU?
She was in India at that point of time.
And was she
Yeah.
in the NICU though? You said right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Which did she have breathing problems also, or did she just have?
No, so the problem with my older one, her name is Risa, and I gained a lot of weight in my pregnancy. I was almost, I don't know, in pounds, I was almost 100 kgs, but she was born 1.83 kgs. So in medical term, there is a term called IUGR, which is inauterine growth retardation. So she was not gaining any weight, and they did every single possible test to find out that why she was not gaining weight, because she was born in 36 weeks, but she was really, really underweight. But they were not able to come up with anything. So in the end, I still remember when I was getting discharged from the hospital, so the pediatrician told me that maybe, she might have developmental delays, or her mind might not have developed completely, but we can't really check anything at this point of time. You will only get to know when she's growing up. So yeah, that was again hard for me as a mom to accept it, and to be in that phase where I don't know that. And by God's grace, she's a bright, very bright young girl now. Yeah.
Well, that was I can imagine how hard that was on you. I mean, hearing that and then also thinking about that and hoping that because I'm sure she was so tiny, you don't even know if she's gonna make it. Because
Mm, mm.
yeah, that's horrible. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's long back, but I think like yeah, you have your own experiences in life, highs and lows, and I think the lows makes you stronger and makes you wiser, and you appreciate things more in your life, and as a result of which, health is one of my core values now in life. I think that whole experience taught me that how health is so important as a value for me in my life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
it's great. Thank you for sharing. I mean, for about your daughter. I mean, it's always nice to hear like other people's experiences with the NICU, and a lot of people don't really have too many experiences with that.
Yeah.
Uh, but did you also want to mention to the audience like how you actually help the autism community or special needs community?
Basically, I help my clients, and like I mentioned, that I have a lot of moms whose kids were diagnosed. So actually, I had a client, so she referred me to the autism community, and that's how, I got a lot of clients from that community. So basically, I help my clients in on mindset blocks. So I help people with imposter syndrome, self sabotaging patterns, perfectionism, procrastination, people pleasing, not setting healthy boundaries, parenting burnout, relationship burnout, occupational burnout. And when you are a mom and you have a kid who's diagnosed with autistic, then you will check mark at least one or two or three mindset blocks here. And then I do it in a way, like I said, that I help them to shift their energy at the end of the day. And
Mhm.
once you start recognizing your energy, that when you take an action, what is the feeling behind that action? What goes on into your mind? And when we get root to the root cause, and when we do a lot of healing of inner child, then it definitely reflects in shifting your level of energy, and that whole process is absolutely transformational.
I agree.
So, because when you start feeling different in life, like for example, when you move from a place of playing a victim
Mhm.
to showing compassion to yourself, everything changes in your life.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah.
It's just hard to not to play the victim, because you're always thinking about, the stuff that all the wrong stuff that can happen to you more so than the good stuff that can happen to you. So,
And like all our feelings are valid. A lot of times when I meet my clients at level one energy, they tell me, Deepa, I am frustrated. I don't want to play a victim anymore. And I always ask them why.
mhm,
What is really holding you back to validate your own feelings?
yeah, true.
See, that's how human psychology works. If you're not validating your own emotions and feelings,
Mhm.
you will consciously or subconsciously keep playing a victim.
Yeah,
You will shift your energy when you start to validate your own feelings.
yeah,
And that's where the compassion will come in. And that will take you apart to a part where you start accepting yourself and people around yourself for who they are.
mhm,
And when you have peace, you start to be in flow in life. So there's a whole process. Like when I talk about it, I get so emotional because I have so much to share, Inga.
yeah.
But I'm just trying to hold my horses and give you very precise answers. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand. No, it's great. No, I mean, it is good to hear like more, a little bit more in depth what, what we need to do for ourselves, as special needs parents, I mean, it's not easy being a special needs parent because we worry about more. So I think more so than most, because there's so much to worry about and there's so much we have to try to realize and try to figure out for ourselves, like, okay, how can I, how can we get out of this situation basically, like how can we, our situations are challenging, but yeah, we can also, if we can switch our mindset to better mindset, I think that it's actually better for our child too at the same, and so
Absolutely. Yeah, like I always say that, monkey see what monkey do.
mhm,
Your kids will not do what you're teaching them to do. They will do what you are doing yourself.
yeah,
Like if I'm smoking whole day and I tell my girls, hey, don't smoke when you grow up, they'll be like, what is she talking about?
yeah.
So, you really have to do walk the talk there, Ringa.
That is true. Yeah. I mean, I agree. That's how my son, like he's been seeing me do a lot of this stuff lately, like with my podcasts and stuff. And so he sees me like, talking to more people and so I think it helps him also because I think he's been more talkative on because he does homeschooling at home. And so he has his teacher, during the day and so he has his Google Meets and whatnot. And I noticed that he's been talking a lot more during Google Meets. And so I think it's because he sees me talking. And so he's like, oh, okay, maybe I should start talking, so it's good. So I think it's helping him, to realize that,
Beautiful.
if you want to get your words out and you want to, get people to listen to you and, and you want to, communicate with more people and you have to talk, and so I think it's, it's a good thing helping him.
Absolutely. And you should be so proud of yourself for demonstrating that behavior to your son, Inga. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. And did you also want to share how the audience can contact you? And I'm not having in the bio also like a description of like what you do and what how to contact you, but you can also tell them.
Sure. So the way my business model works is, Inga, that I always offer a complimentary coaching session, and the person has no obligation to sign up with me. Because when I was looking to hire a coach for myself, I personally don't care how many accreditations you have, how many hours of experience you have, how many years you're coaching for.
Yeah,
I want to feel that I'm being seen, heard, I can connect with my coach, that person understands, there is no judgment, there is no preconceived notion. The coach is not in a hurry to take me anywhere where I don't want to go. So for me, it is very important to connect with the person and feel that, when I leave that room, how does it really feel in my heart? Because if you feel different, then you really want to trust that person in your personal developmental journey.
yeah.
So, if anyone is interested, I will share my mobile number with you. I am on WhatsApp, then I am on emails. So, either you can send me a message on WhatsApp, you can send me a text message, you can connect with me on Facebook on Messenger, you can send me an email. And like I said, you have no obligation to sign up with me. But I think that even in that free session, you will walk away with a lot of insights and clarity on whatever topic you will bring for a conversation. And if nothing, you will walk with a lot of clarity about your own energetic profile. So that will be something very, very new for the audience, Singa.
No, I agree. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Did you want to, was there anything else you would like to share?
No, that's it. And I just wanted to say that you should be so proud of yourself for doing this work, inviting me here. I'm truly honored, Inga.
Thank you.
And, raising this awareness in the community that, we all are one, we are here to help and support each other in whatever capacity we can as moms, as humans, as individuals, Inga. So kudos to you and more power to you.
Thank you. Well, thank you for being a great guest, and thank you for, sharing your experiences and your journeys and sharing about your daughter. That was, great to hear. And
Absolutely a pleasure, Inga.
and also, there's always you're always welcome to come back if you like to talk about
Yeah.
anything, because there's always more things to talk about and more journey to talk. So it was great meeting you, or not great meeting you, but great talking to you again.
Yeah, likewise.
All right,
Take
bye.
care. Yeah.